Imagine waking up one morning, and the first thing you see when you look down are not your legs. Not the legs you were born with, not the legs you've known your entire life, but cold, metallic, mechanical limbs bolted onto your body like you're some kind of machine. That's the nightmare that greets our main character at the very start of this film. And trust me, that is only the beginning of how deep this rabbit hole goes. We are introduced to Nick, a brilliant young man who on paper has everything going for him. He's a top-performing student at MIT, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. He can hack into almost any system with his eyes closed. From the mechanics of deep space to the geological layers of the Earth, Nick's mind is like an encyclopedia that never stops updating. But there's one thing Nick has never been able to outrun, a leg condition he's carried since childhood, one that forces him to rely on crutches just to move around. Now here's what makes Nick fascinating from the start. Despite his physical limitation, this guy has never let it slow his mind down. He is sharp, resourceful, and fiercely determined. But underneath all that brilliance, there's an emotional vulnerability he tries hard to hide, particularly when it comes to his girlfriend Haley. We are also introduced to Nick's close friend, Jonah, an equally spirited companion who brings energy and loyalty to their little trio. The story kicks off on what should have been a simple road trip. Nick, Jonah, and Haley are on the road together, helping Haley move some of her belongings. It's supposed to be casual, easy. But the moment a mysterious message pops up on Haley's laptop, sent by an unknown hacker who has been watching her every move through her own device, the entire mood shifts. Now Nick and this anonymous hacker have a complicated online history. They've been going back and forth in the digital world for a while. But this feels different. This feels personal. The hacker isn't just trolling anymore. He's infiltrated Haley's system and is monitoring her in real time. Jonah's reaction is bold and direct. Find this person and deal with them. But Nick is spiraling internally for a different reason altogether. Deep down, he suspects that this road trip isn't really about moving boxes. He believes Haley is drifting away from him, and that his condition is the reason. The trip, in his mind, might just be her way of creating distance before a breakup. Fueled by both love and anger, Nick locks in. He is going to find this hacker, no matter what. And the hacker? He seems to want to be found. As they drive, taunting photos taken from traffic cameras arrive on their devices. Pictures of their own car, proving someone is watching their every move. The GPS trail eventually leads them somewhere that sets off every warning bell imaginable. A remote, isolated cabin sitting alone in the middle of nowhere. Nick and Jonah head inside, recording everything as they search. Then, Haley screams. They rush outside, and what they see makes absolutely no sense. Haley is rising into the air. Before Nick can even process what he's witnessing, a blinding white flash of light slams directly into his face. Then, darkness. When Nick finally regains consciousness, the world he wakes up to is completely unrecognizable. He's seated in a wheelchair, and his entire body feels like it belongs to someone else. Completely numb and disconnected. Sitting in front of him is a man in a full hazmat suit, who introduces himself as Hollis. He speaks in a calm, clinical tone, telling Nick that he can help restore his memory. The explanation Hollis offers is chilling. They may have come into contact with alien life forms and could be infected. That's it. That's all Nick gets. For days, doctors question him relentlessly. They ask him things, test him, observe him, but nobody tells Nick where Haley is. Nobody mentions Jonah. Every request to see his friends is either deflected or flat out ignored. Nick is not a patient here. He is something else entirely. And the facility is making sure he doesn't figure that out too quickly. Then one morning, while being escorted through the hallways, Nick catches a glimpse through a room's window. There she is, Haley, lying motionless on a bed, pale and still. He tries to reach her, but the staff shuts that down immediately. Back in his room, something unexpected happens. He hears Jonah's voice, coming from the room next door. Jonah is here too. The two of them begin whispering through the walls, comparing notes. Jonah tells Nick that ever since they gave him a strange drink, his heart hasn't felt right. Nick tells Jonah about seeing Haley. In that moment, the two friends make a silent pact. Whatever they observe, whatever codes or details they pick up, they share it all with each other. Together, they become the facility's unofficial intelligence operation. Nick sharpens his focus to a razor's edge. He watches the door panels. He memorizes the codes. He tracks which staff members move where and when. He is no longer just a patient trying to recover. He is a prisoner planning an escape. Then the doctors call him in for what looks like a simple cognitive test. Shapes and colors arranged on a table. But Nick refuses to play along. He crosses his arms and delivers one condition: Let me see Haley, then we talk. The doctors, needing his cooperation, reluctantly take him to her. But the victory is hollow. Haley is in a coma. She can't speak. She can't respond. All Nick can do is stand there and stare at the person he came all this way trying to protect. Nick returns to his room and begins debriefing Jonah through the wall. But mid-conversation, something disturbing happens. Jonah's voice just stops. No warning, no goodbye, silence. Around that same time, there's chaos in the facility. Lights go out. Something or someone escapes. Nick retreats into a dark bathroom, pressing himself against the cold wall. When the lights flicker back on, staff members drag him back out. But the walls around him tell a story. Deep, jagged gouges carved into the surface, like something with enormous strength had dragged itself through the corridor. Nick goes straight to the doctor with one question. Where is Jonah? The answer he gets is one of the most disorienting moments in the entire film. Jonah was never brought here, Nick insists. He talked to him, through the wall, for days. The doctor offers no further explanation and simply walks away. And that's when Nick understands. Those scrape marks on the walls, the sudden silence, Jonah didn't disappear. Jonah escaped. And whatever they did to him gave him the strength to tear through reinforced walls on his way out. Now Nick's mind is made up. He is not waiting any longer. He memorizes every route, recalls every code, and begins moving with purpose. He gets Haley out of her room and navigates the corridors, moving closer and closer to the exit. One door, then another, until the very last door, where the doctor is standing, waiting for him. Nick wakes up again. This time he's lying in a bed right next to Haley. Before he can even reach out to touch her hand, a staff member grabs his arm. The contact somehow sends Haley back under. She loses consciousness again, and something inside Nick completely breaks loose. He starts fighting, pushing. In the chaos, he tumbles off the bed. The staff, alarmed by the intensity of his reaction, backs out of the room in fear. In the sudden quiet, Nick looks down. His legs, his real legs, gone, replaced by sleek, powerful robotic limbs fused directly to his body. And here's the thing, they work, better than anything he's ever experienced. He stands, he walks, he moves for the first time in his life without crutches, without support, without limitation. The fury and the freedom hit him at the same time. He slams through the door. He takes on every person in his path. He grabs Haley and they run. No, they escape through corridors, into an elevator, with the doctor's voice chasing after them, warning that the outside world is more dangerous than what's inside. Nick doesn't even flinch. They burst through a tunnel and into open air. Desert. Flat, endless, scorched earth stretching in every direction. But they keep moving, and eventually they reach a road. A car pulls up. An old woman agrees to give them a ride. For a moment, it feels like salvation. But the woman starts speaking in strange, disjointed ways. Then she stops the car without warning, right in the middle of the road, and begins laughing. A slow, unsettling laugh that doesn't belong to any normal person. Nick and Haley jump out of that car without a second thought. They find a gas station nearby. Nick sits Haley down near a parked truck and goes to use the phone. It's broken. Classic. He turns back around, and the truck is pulling away, with Haley still on it. Nick doesn't hesitate. He runs, and here is where those robotic legs earn their place in the story. He is fast. Impossibly, frighteningly fast. He closes the distance between himself and a moving truck with terrifying ease. But just as he reaches it, the driver swings the door open and knocks him down. Nick gets back up. He chases again. This time he catches it. Inside the truck, Haley has found a gun and she turns it on the driver herself. Together, they throw the driver out and take the wheel. They drive until the road simply ends, a dead end in every direction. Forced to turn around, they eventually stumble upon a visitor center. Inside, there's a map, and the map reveals something that makes Nick's stomach drop. There is only one road in the entire area. One road, which means no matter which direction they go, they are going in circles. They're trapped, and Haley is getting worse by the hour. They take shelter for the night inside the visitor center. But peace doesn't last long. The doctor's men show up. Nick and Haley hide in the darkness, and then moving through the shadows comes a figure Nick recognizes instantly, Jonah. He's alive, he made it out, but he's changed. His arms, both of them, have been replaced with robotic limbs. That's what made those deep marks on the walls. That's how he escaped. The facility experimented on him the same way they experimented on Nick. And then Jonah points something out that reframes everything. There's a number written on Nick's arm. The same number is on Haley's neck. They total 51, Area 51. The place where the government runs its most classified experiments, on technology, on humans, on things the public is never supposed to know about. And the three of them, they are the test subjects. Morning comes. They get back into a truck and push forward again. A military checkpoint blocks their path, a massive pillar system that won't budge without a code entered through a nearby laptop. Jonah gets out and heads for the room, but before he can crack the system, a bullet shatters his glasses. He's essentially blind now, useless at a keyboard, so instead he uses his hands. The raw mechanical force of his robotic arms, Jonah tears the pillar apart. Nick and Haley make it through. Jonah stays behind, already riddled with bullet wounds, holding the line so they can escape. Both Nick and Haley leave with tears streaming down their faces. But freedom is still out of reach. A massive bridge appears ahead, and standing directly in the middle of it is the doctor. His men deploy a road trap that punctures the truck's tires. It flips. Haley is thrown and loses consciousness, and a helicopter descends to take her away. Nick is battered and bleeding, but he pulls himself to his feet, and that's when he sees the doctor ID tag. Damon. Nick stares at it, then he reads it backward. Nomad, the hacker, the one who started all of this. The one who invaded Haley's laptop, taunted them across state lines, lured them into that cabin. The doctor and the hacker were the same person all along. The Dr. Damon doesn't even try to deny it. He steps forward and lays it all out. He hacked their college server and framed Nick. He sent fake messages from Haley's account. He engineered every single moment of this nightmare to get Nick specifically to walk into their hands. And why Nick? Out of every human we have ever experimented on, Damon says you are the only one who has fully merged with the technology. Your brain accepted it completely. You are our most successful experiment. Nick is hurt enough. He runs at the bridge, faster than he has ever moved. His speed builds beyond anything humanly possible, and then he crashes into something invisible, an unseen barrier. The impact is so intense that it launches him through to the other side. He turns around, and Damon is standing there behind the wall. He reaches up and removes his helmet. Damon is not human. He is a robotic alien. Nick slowly turns and looks ahead. There is no desert. There is no bridge, there is no Earth, there is only the cold, infinite blackness of outer space. He's inside a spaceship, and the ship's identification number? 23,041. The exact same sequence written his arm on Haley's neck, on Jonah's body. This was never Area 51. There is no government conspiracy, no secret facility. Just an alien vessel drifting through space, running experiments on human beings, swapping out their limbs for alien-engineered robotics, testing whether human biology can adapt to their technology. And Nick? He was never a patient, never a prisoner, never a test subject in the traditional sense. He was their greatest success. So what do you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing movie stories. See you in the next one.